Welcome back to Coffee and Crystals. I'm your hostess, your yoga instructor, your serial entrepreneur, and today we're here with Haley Tricia. Welcome to Coffee and Crystals, Haley.
Thank you so much for having me, Kadie. I'm so happy to be here.
Can we just remind me, really, how we met?
You and I met in Long Beach, California, some months ago. I think you were out for a friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And we were walking down Broadway, which is referred to as the gayborhood in Long Beach.
Okay, now I'm already remembering you were a nice girl because you called out my outfit. It was instant friendship.
That's right. That's right.
We love a good girl's girl. So we also turned this random bar that I was down where you live for a friend's birthday party, and we turned it into like a karaoke bar that afternoon.
That's right.
Singing, we were having the best time ever. I love a good friend that you just met out at a bar. Well, thank you for being here. I'm excited for this conversation. We've been talking about this conversation. It's also the kickoff to summer. And we have also Louie here with us. Louie, you missed your intro.
Louie, be here.
Louie is the third dog to also be on Coffee and Crystals today. So let's see your face, Louie.
Here he is.
Louie.
This is Louie Vuitton.
You said Louie is your emotional support animal?
That's right.
Okay.
He'll be 4 in August.
So where are some cool places that Louie's been able to be with you?
Oh, he's traveled all over with me. We've been to Texas.
Okay.
We've been, planes, trains, automobiles, just all over restaurants.
I love that.
Just a little
My little dog passed away last April, Finley, and he came with me everywhere too, especially when we were in New York. We're always on the subway, the train, the plane.
Right.
He stopped traveling when he got older though, which just got more difficult.
Right. No, that makes sense. I'm sorry for your loss. It's hard.
It was hard. It was really hard. Harder than I thought it was going to be. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So Haley is the founder of Beaming Fucking Joy.
That's right.
Talk to me about that. I love the whole concept, but I would love to hear it coming from you.
So it's thank you, Kadie. And it's kind of new. It's kind of fresh to start, as in I'm still figuring it out.
Okay.
But so I started it after my mom passed away, and it was just kind of this, thank you so much. Definitely the biggest heartbreak of my life. But this was sort of born out of sort of using humor to cope with it and holding both at the same time, resilience, self-growth, improvement. And that's where the fucking comes in. So obviously going through the worst grief of my life, I'm not always beaming joy, but I will be beaming fucking joy because it sort of just implies the struggle behind it, the effort that it takes to be intentional with joy and seeking out joy and being grateful for the things that I do have. I like to take a cup half full approach, and that's kind of what it is for me.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that I would definitely like to mention is the summer season. One of the emotions of the season is joy. It probably makes sense just with summer and the bright and the light brings more happiness, longer days, but it is an emotion that's connected of the organs of the season. So in Chinese medicine, they really teach us to heal our bodies seasonally. There's always different energies going on, obviously, with the world always changing and pivoting. The different seasons bring different elements. So the elements of the season is the heart, which is joy and compassion. And the second organ of the season is the small intestine, which just helps us with discernment and realizing what it is that we need in our life and what we don't. The organ detoxes that naturally in our body for us. So it's kind of fascinating that you landed on the podcast during the season of joy, talking about beaming fucking joy.
I love that. I love the serendipitousness, if that's a word, of our meeting to now and how it's all developed.
Yeah.
I love also knowing that it's the season of joy because I'm just learning about all of the different moons and stars, everything you talk about on your show that I've been learning so much about since we met. So
I love that. So talk to me. It sounds like you've been really interested and curious about yoga. So obviously this is the #1 yoga podcast in the world. We talk a lot about yoga in the podcast, but it's also yoga. I like to tell my listeners and everyone on the show that yoga really is so much more than the poses. It's how we're showing up in life. It's how we're treating one another. It's how we're showing up for the community. So for you, what is kind of your journey on the yoga?
So for yoga, so I sort of found yoga through Bar 3 and Pure Bars.
I could see that. I love bar.
I love bar.
I love bar and Pilates.
And so that's what, yeah, let's do it together.
I will. Absolutely. I'll come see you in Long Beach.
And I'd love to start teaching bar again. That would be really cool.
Okay. So you taught bar?
I did. Yeah. In Portland, I taught at Pure Bar.
You definitely have like a Pure Bar body length, because it lengthens and tones. I see that for you. But anyway.
Right. So initially it was for that reason that I just wanted to get in shape. And then I started to explore more of the yoga because when you're in that environment, you meet more people, trying more classes. And so I love yoga. It centers my mind and sort of like how you talk about on the show, it's off the mat as well. And so that's when I gain the benefits of it is when I'm not actively doing it. I notice it in my day-to-day life. Like I can calm myself down right now. Something that stood out to me during one of my first yoga classes was that the instructor mentioned that a yogi can find peace in any situation. And so I just try to remember that in moments that get challenging.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like something that is so humbling too, right? Like
Yeah.
my team constantly, we have Fernando on the team today. Literally, sometimes when I'm freaking out and being human and having human moments, he just kind of laughs like, haha, and you talk about yoga on your show. But it's just yoga humbles us and reminds us to come back into breath, come back into peace and serenity, because without serenity, calm, and peace, there will be no joy, which is kind of the center of our conversation today. But let's kind of circle back. I want to hear a little bit more about you. First off, I want to know what coffee mug you brought to the show today.
Oh, it's so fun. Yes. So this is a Vincent van Gogh coffee mug. And
I
I
love Vincent van Gogh. I grew up in Fort Myers, Florida, and my grandmother, who raised me, my great grandmother, used to drive us to St. Petersburg, where they had a Van Gogh museum, and he just became one of my favorite artists because it was somebody that I was always exposed to because it was something we always did like every summer.
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh, I want
so I love that this is your mug.
I just always have sort of connected with him ever since I learned about him in school. You know, he cut his own ear off. He's kind of crazy, but he sees beauty in chaos.
Yeah,
And that's sort of why I thought it'd be a great thing to bring on this show because I feel like that's been a lot of my life with my grief and the also beaming fucking joy and just holding all of that at the same time.
yeah.
And
Great
I feel like
choice.
he's done that. He
Yeah.
did that. So
I'm in editing stages of writing my first book and just running some ideas and talking to ChatGPT, which everyone's always like, why aren't you done yet? Just run it through ChatGPT because I'm writing my actual book myself, everyone. But ChatGPT is helpful when it comes to just like organization. But why I'm bringing this up is AI and ChatGPT told me that my book was very chaotic. So my book is going to be very Vincent van Gogh, a little chaotic, but beautiful at the same time.
I love that. That's great. And by the way, love ChatGPT. So helpful,
Right?
for what you just said. Organizing.
It's like the whole
thoughts.
C-suite of coffee crystals.
I love it. No, that's great. That's great. When you use it as a tool to enhance what you're already doing, as long as you're, of course, using your human brain as well,
Right.
and using it as an asset as opposed to relying on it, then it's
Exactly.
incredible.
Exactly. I completely agree. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
Okay. When did you move to California?
It'll be about a year ago.
Really? Oh my God, well, happy anniversary.
Thank
I
you.
just celebrated 10 years in California.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, decade. That's beautiful.
Right? That was
Yeah.
a kind of a thread of achievement at the summer solstice event too. It's like a 10-year anniversary party for myself.
So it was also a personal,
Yeah,
sort of
lots of personal
was,
stuff. We've been there.
I love
You
that.
missed it. I cried at the beginning like a little baby.
I know. And I was like, as you should.
Yeah. So I think all the emotions poured out. And I was like, okay, good. Let's get that over with.
Yeah, it was good.
So why California?
So after my mom passed, I just sort of re-examined, looked around and realized, there's a lot of, I'll say, I don't want to say a loss, but realignment. So the same friends I had, I have different friends now and other shedding and things like that. But I do have family in California. I have an aunt and uncle in San Diego. I have an uncle that lives in Hollywood. So it just sort of made sense to restart my life here. I also have my boyfriend's from Long Beach. So there's just a lot of reasons.
Okay. So when did you meet your boyfriend?
We met about a month after my mom passed away. I was just road tripping through Southern California and we stopped in Long Beach for New Year's. And so that's how I met New Year's Eve.
So
a couple years ago.
Okay. So how long has it been since you've been without your mom, Tricia?
It's been 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Tricia Burke.
I'm obviously seeing that you had a very deep, close relationship with your mother.
Yes.
Yeah. Just talk to me about how you were able to just stand up after something like that.
Yeah, I am able to stand up after something like that because that's what my mom always did. And she's the strongest person that I know. And so I really just want to live for her and do all the things that she didn't think were possible to do. Not because she told herself it was impossible, but just circumstances. My dad was not a good husband or father, so I just feel like she just kind of got the short end of the stick in a lot of ways and poured everything she had into me. And so that's part of why I changed my last name to her first name, Tricia, Haley Tricia.
Tricia. It's so cute.
To
I
honor
follow
her.
her on social media as Haley Tricia. It's like has such a nice ring to it.
Thank you so much. And that's a recent change. I was on in February, I went on an all-female trip to Thailand,
Cool.
all about decentering men and female empowerment with an influencer by the name of Chloe Bao.
Okay.
And she's Canadian, 15 women from all over the world. And one of them, while I was there, just kind of telling my story, suggested that I change my name. And so I just did right then and there. And I'm Haley Tricia now. And I'm so excited to say my mom's name every time I introduce myself.
I love that. Well, a little something we have in common. I mean, I didn't know my dad at all, so I didn't have any relationship, but I guess kind of a similar thread of just the first section of my book is called Daddy Issues. I'm not saying that you have daddy issues, but I had to experience life learning without like a masculine energy, which in turn felt I was standing on a very masculine energy for a very long time because of it, but very much raised by women, grandmothers, neighbors, aunts, uncles. So we have that in common. Is he in your life now?
No, I'm no contact with my narcissist for about 5 years now.
Okay.
I think he has a new baby. I have a half sister out there. I pray for her spirit all the time. And yeah, so 5 years. And I'm glad you brought up the idea of daddy issues because that's something I did say kind of jokingly about myself my whole life. And then recent psychology and studies have been kind of rephrasing it to father wound. And I really like that phrasing.
It already sounds.
Because it puts the onus on them.
Yeah.
We don't have daddy issues. We had a dad that has issues. And I think that that's a really important way to rephrase it for our own healing and growth and resilience.
Yeah, I love that. I actually was have you ever been to like a live show where people kind of get people in the audience to do crazy things and then turn the camera on the audience and, like that type of theme. I was going to try to do something like that at Summer Solstice, but there was a little bit of homework that I had to do behind the scene. I used to really be into prank calls when I was little. I was like one of the best things to me. Like I love playing radio host. Here I am as a podcast host. And I just love flipping through that phone book and prank calling people with my sister. We used to even send prank mail. You don't have phone books anymore. It's like not a thing. But my point is I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna reach out. It's Father's Day weekend. I'm gonna pick up the phone and I have everybody just like call my dad for the first time. But I had to like prep it, like get a phone number, see if he was going to be available. Sure, got ghosted. So we're putting that behind me.
Oh,
I tried. I think it was like last time I prank called him, I was in college. And then I got mad because he said something about having the same birthday as me. And I was like, how did you not know that until I was? So I'm putting all of that behind me and just going forward. That was like my last try. And he wasn't interested, completely read it and just didn't respond.
Yep.
And so that's where I'm at on that.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you were vulnerable enough to try. I mean, you can just honor that part and just, self-love.
Yeah, self-love.
And it's okay to improve.
It's some 3 really great, because I have 2 sisters from the same dad, and we're awesome. So it's like his.
Awesome. Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah, my dad's lost as well. Definitely.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of cheers, can I pivot a little bit to this champagne?
Yes, what
brand is this? I haven't tried it yet. We're trying this first on the show.
The Veuve Clicquot Rosé.
As a joke, because I forgot to answer you back when you asked me what my favorite, I was going to say Veuve as like a joke, and then she brought it anyway.
I bring the Veuve.
She is a classy lady.
This was my mom's favorite champagne.
Oh my God, this is my mom's favorite champagne. That's why I was going to say it.
Cheers to our mom! Oh my gosh, to our moms!
To our moms, Trish and Melissa.
Trish and Melissa, that's so cute.
That.
And Kadie and Haley, we got a little rhyming.
Yeah, we really do. I love a good rhyme, a little rap. What were you like as a kid? I feel like we obviously would be friends.
Oh, I was the class clown.
Okay.
Completely. I was just always attention. I want to make you laugh. I want to make you dance. Like very much a super extrovert my entire life.
I love that.
Got in trouble with the teachers a little bit for talking, but they were like laughing while they were giving me detention.
Okay. I didn't have that. I was class clown, always in trouble, annoying my teacher.
Okay. There's probably a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
I was very much the same. I actually casted all my friends and like had a girl band called the Peanut Butter Pals, but we were singing and dancing. I even created a post office system at my school where we like were male women and male men and delivering each other letters, like literally like created community since I was a little girl.
That's incredible.
So you would definitely be a Peanut Butter Pal.
I would love to be a Peanut Butter Pal. And by the way, we should probably make those shirts.
Yeah. Oh, Peanut Butter Pal is having a debut.
Yeah, we could.
It's in the mark. So a little match. The beaming fucking joy. So let's bring up beaming fucking joy. I love summer, obviously. I think everyone that listens to the show now understands my love for the summer season, but I'm also a Cancer. So my birthday, it's always Christmas in July for me. I have an annual Barbie party. 4th of July, I always just, because my great grandmother, it would spoil us in way like this, like told us that America was doing this for us. Because when I say us, my sister is also a Cancer and we grew up in the same room.
Oh, okay.
So it's like firework. I mean, we really just thought July and summer was for us. So
Of course.
bringing that into the show, bringing it into the to today, and something we talked about with my guests last week is just remembering some of our favorite summer memories. So maybe think back, what was one of your favorite summer memories with Trish?
Oh, that's a good one. It makes me think of a little story. I'm young. I don't understand like everything that goes into cooking, right? Or making things or preparing items.
Okay.
And so I'm down at a neighbor's house and my mom used to just make us like big pitchers of iced lemon water. And so our neighbor would always cook everything from scratch, right? She was
Okay.
like this incredible homemaker and all these
Love
things.
that.
And so every time I go over, there's hors d'oeuvres, there's snacks, there's stuff. And I guess one day I was over there and I maybe was 10 years old or something like that. And I said, oh my gosh, you need to come over to my house. My mom makes the best lemon water. And my mom thought that was so funny because it's literally ice water with lemons cut up in it. But for me, it was, just like my mom's ice lemon water. It was the best. It was refreshing. A summer day with a trampoline. And so we'd jump on a trampoline and she'd always just be in there hanging out. And yeah, that's my little memory about summer. How about you?
I feel like my summer memory, my favorite ones were just out back playing in the yard. The peanut butter pals, we would practice our dance routines, our skate routines for hours in the front yard. And I would literally, like, I don't know if I had a clipboard, but I definitely remember having notes like a real director and just like boss everybody around and make them practice.
Oh, yeah, I did that too. I orchestrated the plays. He's the bad guy and you're going to be the dog that has to sit there. And yeah.
So I just remember just hours of being outside. But there was also this sense of like feeling really sorry for myself because I felt like at the time when it was happening, we didn't have very much money. So it always felt like I was stuck at home and forced to it's like, although as a kid I was clearly having fun, I also was like, I guess always kind of like not appreciating that time. So it's cool to kind of look back because I'd rather, like, some of my friends would be like, go-karting, or my friends would be in club soccer or club volleyball.
Sure.
Had all this money for these to go to the local pool club,
Right.
It's like, I'm like, we have a sprinkler. But
then you look back and it's your favorite thing.
Comparing. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was creating the peanut butter pal. Like all that time spent in our rooms is why my sister and I started playing radio host, and now we both have podcasts. So it's like,
yeah,
I always tell people, like, what were you like as a kid? What did you like doing as a kid? Do more of that.
Do more of that. So I'm so glad that you brought this up because I was just listening to another podcast on my way here. Florence Given. She's an author and she's so inspiring to me. She has hot pink hair. She lives right around here.
I'm hot pink hair era.
Oh my God, I love
and the purple hair era, which I used to call daddy issues, but now it's father wound
hair. That's right.
Hair.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Hair.
We're living for our inner child.
Yeah.
And that's so great. And that's what she always talks about as well, is that living for your inner child. Florence Given, just talking about
inner child.
Being
what you did as a child.
Right. And doing more of that. What did you like to do when you were a kid? Try doing that.
Yeah.
Did you like to dance in your room? Did you like to, whatever it was? And how that's the magic. And that's how we can find the magic of life again. Because when we look back on those memories and feel that feeling of nostalgia, she describes how that feeling is actually in all of us and that we can create it kind of anytime we want. And when you look at it that way, that you have all this power in you to create magic.
We really do. It's just so interesting how easy it can be to forget that, but also how easy it is to literally you can have things crashing obstacle after obstacle. But if you choose to be happy, then everything can literally be blowing up around you and you can just be going on a nice walk.
You can just be beaming fucking joy and laughing through all of it. Like, oh, well, this shitty thing happened, but I'm going to make a choice, a positive one, to go to the gym, or I might not be feeling great today, but I'm going to make myself give someone I see a compliment.
Yeah.
And see how that makes me feel. And
because the effort of just smiling at a stranger or saying hello to someone in the elevator, it's also an energy that it's like, I don't really always subscribe to fake it till you make it, but faking a smile, how are you today? It is a whole different energy than just sitting there on your phone, ignoring the person in the elevator. It really gives a whole other frequency out to the universe.
That's right. And you never know how much someone might need that.
Yes.
Even not even the trying to fake something or forcing a smile or something, which is great as well, but just to be yourself, whatever feels authentic. Like sometimes I walk down the street and I just want to dance. Sometimes people honk. And it's like maybe that person really needed that energy. Like
Yeah.
I saw people dancing when I was at a red light over here and I smiled.
Yeah.
It's nice.
A lot of things. I love that. So the piece of you mentioned class clown and you made a comment like needing a lot of attention. Do you feel like that was kind of a way you started telling jokes, or do you feel like the jokes were already inside you? How do you connect with your first memories of being funny?
I think the jokes were definitely inside me. And my mom is hilarious. So I have
My
the
mom is
example.
hilarious too. Like I'm always like, you think I'm funny? My mom is way better.
Right. Like student becomes teacher.
Yeah.
Like it was just slowly over time. And all of a sudden, like I'm funny,
Yeah.
just like my mom is hilarious. And then we had to deal with a lot of craziness because my dad was very abusive and there was a lot going on in my very dysfunctional house. And you've touched on that theme in your podcast as well. And so we used humor to cope with all that.
Yeah.
Like we'd go out to eat. That's why I love dining in restaurants because that was sort of our safe place. So we'd go do that. And then we'd like go get food and like go home and put it in pots and pans. Like, look, we cooked it. So my dad, but it was a funny game, and like it sounds kind of crazy, but it's like we did that together. And yeah. Yep.
Do you feel like you were aware of that? Because I don't think when people were close to me now and as I grew and started healing, people would kind of notice, oh, that's just how you deal with hard things, is laughter. But I don't feel like I was ever conscious of that. I just was doing it and was funny and was making everybody laugh. Like if somebody got hurt on the playground, they'd be like, "Where's Kadie?" And they would come find me and I'd be like, "All right." And like whatever I could do to like bring be fucking joy to them. Like that was always my duty. But I definitely don't feel like in the moment until like recent years that I realized that was a coping.
Yeah. And I'm glad you made that distinction because I would align with that too. I think that when I look back on it, I can, fill in all those dots and make those connections. But now, or at the moment, I just think I was just a silly, funny, incredibly confident girl.
Yeah.
And my mom's a classically trained actress, so it all
really
makes sense that
gosh, so she was very LA.
She was very LA.
Have you been to LA with her before?
We hadn't been together other than when I was little visiting my uncle, who's a hairdresser in Hollywood.
Oh.
He used to do hair on Will and Grace. And she was a makeup artist on the Dennis Miller show for a little while when she was in her 20s living down here.
Super cool.
Super cool. Yeah. My mom is, oh my gosh, she's like such an incredible, cool lady. And she did get to see me do stand-up comedy before she passed away. So that was a really cool moment for me. That's something I want to get back into. And so definitely theater, it's self-expression, authenticity. We're also very Irish, musician, performer, like all of those themes, right? Like it all kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So last weekend, and I don't usually prep people for the show. It's just like not something I do, but I've had a live panel and I just felt like that would be the type of scenario to prep people a little bit. But everyone's busy. So I don't even know how much prepping there was. And why I'm bringing this up is one of our biggest partners last weekend was Travis Matthew, and they have a funny sense of humor. They do a lot of dad jokes and stuff on their clothes. So it's like, it's Father's Day weekend. What a great icebreaker.
Perfect.
Everyone give me your favorite dad or your best dad joke. Nobody had one. Like I even gave them a few seconds. Awkward silence, awkward silence. Nobody had one. So for you to close us out, June month, the Father's Day and Men's Health Month is June.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Give us a dad joke.
Wow, that is a really great question. I wonder if I can think of one now on the spot.
No partner at all is going to be,
I think I might be in the same exact boat as
I definitely you're not as easy. Okay, well then tell me some of your favorite jokes. Like, are there jokes that you come back to, or maybe just funny stories that you're like, if you meet somebody new?
If I meet somebody new, a funny story, a joke, like, I don't know. I think it was kind of more in the moment. I'm very good at like
witty.
Yes, I make jokes based on other people in the conversation. Like, I'm definitely the funny person in the group. And that's actually a big thing I really need to work on as far as doing stand-up comedy, because it's not about getting in front of people. It's not having the thing to feed off of.
Yeah.
So that's something I actually really need to work on, is focusing it and intentionally creating my material.
Yeah. I feel like that is pretty hard, because so many times I've tried to retell things that people are belly laughing about and it just doesn't deliver. Right. Like, really?
Right.
Really? That wasn't funny because everybody else thought it was funny.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's harder. It's definitely a skill. So what was your first experience doing stand-up?
I was in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
I had broken out of an abusive relationship.
Okay.
And had realigned my life with these beautiful, beautiful friends who just reminded me who the fuck I was, and
Those types of girlfriends.
that's right. Ones that lift you up, the not
Remind you of
competitive.
what you're worthy of, what you deserve.
Right. And
Shout out to all those girls.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Specifically, she signed me up. She's like, you make all of us roll on the floor laughing every time we hang out. You're doing stand-up comedy, you're doing it on this day, and I've already invited everyone to put it on everyone's calendar. And I was like, wow, that is incredible. So I had no choice. And I just sort of kind of used, I just went in with truck jokes. I had toured with a country band during the pandemic. My ex-boyfriend was a country singer, blah, blah, blah. And so I had all of these little town big trucks, like overly masculine men in their trucks, and their penises, their trucks, their dicks, their trucks. Like, and so that was kind of the joke that I used, and it was kind of low hanging fruit, but it was hilarious, and a lot of people laughed. And so I did the truck thing for a while.
Yeah.
I even tried to create an Instagram page dedicated to it, biggest truck in town, and I just sort of fell off the truck. I went on a different truck.
Over the truck.
Yeah, over the truck thing, but it's definitely
We
fun
went
to
to
go back
California.
to.
We don't have that many trucks here.
Yeah,
I guess we do
in some parts, but when you see on it's like truck, like I can't see a truck and then not think about like small town, biggest truck in the smallest town, like I don't know, they're either compensating for something or
yes,
they think that is what it is, I don't know. But it's scary because there's so many different kinds of trucks.
yes,
Big trucks, small trucks, so many different kinds. So scary.
Okay. So I feel like you're probably similar to me. I feel like a lot of times I'll say stuff and I'm not even saying a joke or trying to be funny. And then people will just start cracking up. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, should I use that? Like, that wasn't even going to be a joke. That was just like me talking.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about you. So you, to kind of pivot into something a little bit more emotional, body, you said to me when we were kind of organizing this show, and it got me thinking of the doshas. So the doshas, the best way to describe that in like a yoga lesson in Ayurvedic medicine, which is a healing property type study of the foods you eat, the times of day, really balancing the energies to balance out your specific personality type. And there's three of them. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And you made a comment of suggestions of when you feel like you were more depressed or less depressed. And I was like, that awareness is so amazing. I feel like I had a little bit of awareness, but I only got awareness from going to yoga school and learning about the doshas and knowing that the Kapha personality is the personality that would hold depression and the times of days that those are. But it sounds like you kind of physically figured that out for yourself. So where did you start making that distinction that you kind of perform better or feel happier, you have more joy in certain periods of the day versus the others? Do you remember saying that to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I do, it's about honoring, like setting yourself up for success and honoring those times a day. Florence Given talks about this on her podcast as well. And so I'm definitely a morning creative person, morning to like mid-afternoon. As soon as it, like right around this time is the hardest time of day for me. And
so thank you for being here.
Oh, so happy to be here.
That move.
I sure will. I sure will, honey. Yeah. So it is, and that is why the Voop does help. It's like, oh, it just turned into like a little fun happy hour for a minute, and that switches it in your brain or whatever. But yeah, so when I'm creating, working on a project, having a period of productivity in my life, it has to be in the morning. Anytime after 1 p.m. is when I fall off. That being said, though, I found that honoring that time with a little like cup of tea and a nap, perhaps even just a 20-minute cat nap, taking a moment to ground myself, maybe do a breathing exercise helps. And then I can have another couple hours of productivity. And then I do typically keep my evenings after 5 p.m. just kind of free and clear for rest and relaxation as able.
Yeah. So I think that's a really, really strong message and something that we learn about with these energies, because we talk about energy a lot on the show, but I like to be very specific about what type of energy. So that type of energy that you're talking about is a really great yogic way of yoga off the mat, of balancing. So it's not a bad thing that we feel more reflective, which is a personality trait of depression, but knowing how to channel that. So I learned that my best writing hours are at night. Moon, it's a little bit more sad. You do feel more sad. But since I'm writing a book right now about chaos, it actually is, that's how the journaling is very therapeutic anyway. So I've learned that, my fire pitta hours, your morning hours is better for different type of work. But when I'm dropping into writing, I do my best writing at night.
Well, that's great.
And it's more of a reflective, depressive energy.
And I do find that my best poems are in the evening as well. So that's a good distinction as well. For different kinds of work in different times of the day and whatnot.
Yeah.
I also used to think that the more caffeine, the better. That's something that's definitely changed. I've learned that it's more about like I've switched to matcha,
I know. I need to get back to my
slow release caffeine. It just helps not get to the point of like, oh, now I'm anxious. I'm not just awake. I'm anxious.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good.
I know. So many people have made that distinction on the show. So it's like I make jokes. I'm like, all right, we're rebranding. It's matcha.
No,
It's
I love
matcha
it.
and crystals.
It's
Speaking of
coffee.
crystals, I got you a crystal.
Ooh.
I got you this
Yeah.
one, this white howlet. This is really good for creativity, but also just really good for calm. A lot of things that we've talked
Two things I
about.
really need right
So
now.
calming is always good when you're creating joy in your life.
That's
I feel like
right.
that's the goal, right?
You need that inner peace to be able to be abundant and be from a place of abundance. And that's how you can affect others the most and help others the most. Because if you're depleting yourself, how are you going to be able to be there and show up for people?
Absolutely.
So that's, thank you so much, Kadie.
You're welcome. So we talked a little bit about how you got into yoga. Talk to me about your relationship with yoga on the back currently. Do you practice? You said this morning you were getting your head right for the show.
Yep.
Are you a weekly practitioner? Or what does your practice look like?
Multiple times a week, between 3 and 5 times a week. So I do yoga on the Bluff in Long Beach.
You said that I didn't know what you meant. I just assumed that meant. I was like, well, she did say buff, so she's not doing yoga naked. So I'm
Oh, I Bluff. So it's like a little park, grass area.
love that.
A little grass area,
Here.
and it's overlooking the ocean. And so it's just everyone. It's community. It's free. It's at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day
Oh my gosh,
during the
I need
summer.
to do that.
It's incredible. You should come meet me. We'll do chapters
Every day.
every day.
Okay, yeah, we're doing that one.
And it's like a little walk in my
It
house.
is. Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So that's what I went and did this morning. And some days I'm engaged and I do the whole class. And then sometimes I just lie there in Shavasana while I do part of the class and hop back in for part of it or do a child's pose or whatever I need that day. Sometimes I bring my dog, sometimes I don't. So it's wonderful. And so I do that a couple times a week. And then I also do hot yoga at my gym, Club Studio Fitness.
Okay. Okay, so you're doing a lot of yoga.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I definitely am. It's between that and like, hot Pilates as well as mixed in there and different strength training and whatnot.
I am writing stories and a lot of them connect back to a yoga pose in every chapter. Not every chapter, but most chapters. So the class that I just most recently taught in LA last weekend, I chose poses that I write about for my book. But I did it that way because truly sometimes just such magnificent ideas or things have happened that I do in my memories connect back to a pose. Like when I was in Bali or when I was in Costa Rica, I took this really cool picture when I was really strong in my practice. It didn't just pop into crow anywhere. And I just remember me at the house I was in crow pose. So it's less about the ego of I used to be able to do that pose. Poses literally bring me back to joy moments.
I love that.
Do you have that at all? Or maybe I'm kind of planting the seed for you where you can
I
start to
think
have
you are
memories,
planting the
memories
seed.
with your poses.
Yes, I think
Maybe that could be a book.
that's a great, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I notice how I'm stronger on some days and not as strong on other days. Speaking of crow, I'm just starting to get off the ground in that. So I just for like maybe 2 seconds hold it with my feet off the
That's
ground.
good. It's a lot of strength in that, but it's also just fear.
Yeah, it's fear. I'm afraid I'm just gonna break my
Yeah.
nose.
Yeah. This is
So
valid.
totally valid.
What you could do is, and maybe one of your teachers have already done this, is have your feet up on a block. So you can kind of be up in the air, so have your on a yoga block.
Okay.
So it gives that sensation of being higher. So you just start like practicing what it feels like in that position.
Right.
Sure, you have the homework.
Yeah. Okay.
With your feet on the block.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you mentioned that you were interested in even learning more about yoga, which is like, I feel like subtly pushing me like, I need to create a yoga school. But
You should. I'll be your first.
I have an answer for you. So I really do suggest if it's me getting my stuff together or someone, I really suggest if you're able to go away for it. Like my friend is doing a Pilates certification I can't do because I'm going to Puerto Rico. But it's like Saturdays and Sundays for like 8 weeks long. And that's like, go everyone for doing that. I'm not saying any way is wrong, but yoga is so personal and it's such a way of life. So I really suggest you researching someone that you can pack your bags, change your environment, get out of your day to day, not be forced like this teacher being a little bit strict because everybody's on their phones all the time. Yoga is not about being on your phone. It's about detaching so they can really go inward. So I would say really search places that you can get out of your own element and get those credentials back to back.
Okay.
Get those 200 hours in a 2.5 week period.
Okay.
So it might take just like some planning. I know that I had to save money for like a year
To go to
to
Costa Rica, right? Is that
for my
right?
first 200 hour. And like that literally, I think it was like a whole year I saved to be able to afford that. And then all the other trainings I also went away for.
Okay.
But I just think that that's the best way instead of trying to do a program through 8 weeks where you're also working in between, going to a birthday party in between. You're not like locked into the lesson
Right.
together. And I really think that that makes a difference, not necessarily on how you are as a teacher, but how you're understanding yoga.
Okay. Yeah.
My question, my,
I'm really glad you said that because that was literally the two things I was going between. And
yeah,
I just thought maybe you had one around here that you knew was pretty good because my instinct, of course, is to leave town.
yeah.
I mean, come here.
North Ray, I really, 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 really love that studio. They have one in Echo Park and off Liberty, LA. So I'm sure like looking into their program. I don't think it's like all in one either though. It's like a weekend training thing, but
Okay. Like you said, because it does
such a
feel
good
kind of
studio.
rushed, like to collapse it into 8-hour days, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at some programs abroad. I think that would be really
Yeah.
great for me.
So, and it just turns into a really cool vacation too.
Right.
Something you can write poems
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I need to get back into that.
Great. So when I met you that fun day at our homemade karaoke bar,
A little brunch and rubbing.
you were talking about your boyfriend. And the reason I want to bring him up is there's just so much content out there right now that are like bashing men. And I feel like the only reason I share stuff like that is just to get to people to understand the dualities and not to get so stuck on the dualities, but to understand that there is a feminine energy and there is a masculine energy in all of us.
Yes.
And that the men should withhold that masculine energy and that masculine symbol, the sun to our moon. And it's important to find that balance in the beginning, or you're kind of just doomed in an imbalance from the start. So I was inspired just by what you were saying about your boyfriend and how much you've grown since dating him versus some other guys. So do you feel like you manifested him, or you just were sick of settling for these people who were not making you feel calm and serene and full of joy like your current relationship?
This is such a great question. I do feel like in part I manifested him. I definitely, it's probably both. It's probably a combination. But what I do love is holding both at the same time. So like we met, like I said earlier in the podcast, that right after I got home from Thailand. And the whole theme of this trip with 15 women from all over the world was about decentering men. And the reality is that you can decenter men within a relationship. And that's what I'm doing right now. Like my boyfriend is 100% a feminist. He 100% encouraged me to go on that trip. And I just think it's about like self-worth, knowing your self-worth, not settling for anything less. There's something about as well having a fully developed brain. Like I'm 32 now and I left my abuser when I was 27. I mean, that's right when your brain develops. And ever since then, I had been healing myself, making better choices. There's some other lovely people between 27 and meeting my boyfriend now that also helped me, get into that way of thinking to make me realize what I do deserve. And, sometimes that's being alone, being single and working on yourself.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can do that within a relationship. And I always thought that it was one or the other. But what I've learned is that it is possible. And I'm enjoying that right now. And I just love being in that place with him where I'm so happy and so healthy. And I feel so loved and seen and heard and supported. And that's helping me achieve my dreams. And I believe that I'm helping him achieve his as well. I think being in the present with all of that as well is really important to me. Not overly attaching to the idea of forever or, marriage and babies and whatever else it may be. I'm just happy now.
I love that. He would be a really great conversation around that specific energy. And the energy we would be talking about is that there are three energies of past, present, and now. And just like breath, you need the inhale, the pause in between, and the exhale. So I always think of things in three. And that energy that you're talking about is even in business, right? We have to plan for quarter 4 and end of year and what we're doing in the next 5 years. Absolutely. But we can't get so stuck in the future that we're not living in the now. And we can't get so stuck in what happened in the past that we're not planning for the future and not living in the now. So it
That's
all comes back to yoga.
Yeah, that's right. It does come back to yoga. And that's why loved having yoga be a part of my life and having the experience of being a Pure Barre instructor. That's what makes me want to be licensed for yoga because it's the original of
Mhm.
everything. Like these are just workout classes. No offense, Pure, we love Pure Barre. It's the
Yeah.
best. But yoga is like from the beginning of human origin, it's this beautiful practice and it truly is on and off the mat. And I see those themes in my day to day life all the time. And it reminds me to come back to center.
Yeah.
And I just am so grateful to have that and to be seeing all of it and to have the privilege really to age and grow
Uh,
and heal. Yeah.
yeah. I really love that. I was talking to my Reiki healer, who's also like my second mom. And she just kind of always reminds me that aging is not bad like society makes it. Age is such a blessing, and the amount of wisdom that you're able to share to the community from real life lessons. And she is somebody, and she's been on the show. So we can scroll back and listen to her. She was on the show last summer. I would say it's one of the top shows.
Ah,
Analytics doesn't say that, but she's a very wise woman. So we got to get listeners re listening to Ginny Bean, but she just talks and walks it as well. Like
mm,
she is so strong. Like her and her husband he does Krav Maga, which is like an Israeli fighting, a
yes.
70-year-old man.
Mm,
And he could probably whoop up, not because he's trying to pick fights with 30-year-olds, but like he is very, very strong, getting stronger, I feel like, as they go. She's very
right.
much into yoga, Tai Chi, just really fuels her body. And she's like, we're meant to actually get stronger, not necessarily physically stronger, but stronger in our decisions, stronger in our discernment, like the
Hmm.
organ of the season,
That's right.
stronger in our wisdom. So it's not really, I love that you just said that you love that you're getting older because you just, especially in LA, you don't hear that a lot.
You don't.
You don't hear that
And I
enough.
think that the grief element for me personally is part of what makes me look at all of that differently because I sort of, with my life, I've had about, I watched my mom die this horrible cancer at 57. And so that it's like, are you kidding? Aging is a privilege. Like I should have had 20 more years with my mom. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for the 29 years I did have and all that, of course, as well. But just how it's a privilege to age and it's beautiful. And it's society's brainwashing that tells us that it's not. And pedophilic thinking and thoughts that they say that we've expired after our brains are fully developed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just silly. And, they talk about your peak in life, and I think you can have many peaks. And I think that we can always be peaking, ing, present progressive,
Yeah.
being, like
Yes.
we're doing it all.
Yeah.
And it's a constant evolution, and life is about so much more than how we look on the outside. But that being said, you're beautiful at any age and stage. It's a lie.
Yeah. From that, you do a beautiful job of rhyming with your words.
Thank you. It's the Irish in me.
I was going to say you're a poet, but you don't know it. But you told us earlier that you are a poet, so you do know it. Talk to me. Okay, I like talking about the Dark Night of the Soul. Have you read that book by chance?
I haven't read the book, but I've
I
heard the
can pass it to you.
phrase.
I can find it to you and let you borrow it. Basically talks about everybody can't hide from the dark night of the soul. That we all have periods in our life that literally is like shavasana, is like death while we're living, like painful occurrences that are so painful, but we build ourselves back up. So obviously you went through a period of the dark night of soul, still probably coming out of it, still
Yeah,
pretty new with your mother. But do you feel like you've had other periods of your life where you can pinpoint that were a dark night of the soul for you?
absolutely. And I came out of them and I've learned something new each season. Louis, come here.
Come on, Louie. Come here, Lou. I know our live audience.
Papa. Yeah, he's like, he's cheering for us. When I was a freshman in college, so the beginning of my 20s, a friend of mine passed away from a drug overdose in college. It was very traumatic. And so I lost a very dear friend. And he was my first close gay male friend. And as we all know, that's a different kind of relationship. It's particularly healing. It's particularly healing for me coming out of an abusive
Absolutely.
father's home to him. And so losing him, that was just, I feel like it kind of in a lot of ways prepared me for what ended up happening with my mom, in that when I look back, I was upset with myself and how much I let it kind of defeat me and make me sad, and how I just spent so much time being sad. And so that's what I told myself when this happened with my mom, that I wasn't going to do it that way. And that doesn't mean that I've not been extremely sad, like the saddest I've ever been. But that's where the beaming fucking joy idea came in, because it's about you can be sad and also be beaming fucking joy. It's possible to do that. And so I think that that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that really touches in with Cancer season, which is my sign. And I'm the first to make fun of myself because we are very emotional, and that's really what people, how everyone knows a couple things about signs, or maybe you don't know anything at all about anyone's sign.
I'm
Yeah.
learning more and more sensitivity.
But one thing that people tend to know about Cancer is that we're known for emotional. And I feel like I used to hold that as a negative thing too. And it's not just me sticking up for myself, but how beautiful, like, wouldn't you rather be sitting in a room with people who are full of empathy and that can read the room and have your feelings and are self-aware enough to be emotional versus someone that will just say whatever and not worry about like your feelings. And I think you're kind of saying the same thing, which this season is reminding us to be more emotional intelligent, to be more in touch with the emotions around us, because it can also just tell a story. If you're hanging out with someone who just can't get over the death of their mom and brings it up every day, it's like, we can feel for you, but it's also like, how am I going to move on in this friendship if that's how you were showing up? So I feel like is when you are emotionally aware and sad, and to be able to turn it off like that, that is such strong emotional intelligence.
Thank you.
And also a very big theme of the summer. Because the summer also, you think of it as school's out,
Right.
vacation, fun. But it's actually in this season of Cancer, summertime, it can be very emotional for you.
That's right. Yeah.
But we're beaming joy with longer days and longer sun help us balance it out. That's what the universe is helping us with this emotional season by giving us more sunset and more sun in our day.
That's right. That's right. That's really interesting to have you comment on all of that and put all of that in perspective for me. Because like I said, I'm still learning about all the signs and what that means. And that's why I've loved listening to your podcast, because it's like, oh, and we are in the season. Oh my gosh, that makes sense. And I can see areas in my life where that all is aligning with everything you're saying. And then I learned about it more, like I'll ask ChatGPT, like, tell me more about, Cancer season. And like, it's really fun. It's been fun.
I just think it's fun. It's just a way, it's a perspective. And then you either resonate with it or you don't, either way. I think that's also why I love yoga. That's why I love this podcast, is as much as I'm getting the show notes ready for the listeners, it's my yoga as well. It's forcing me to read my sutras, to show up in my own meditation, to see what thought I have. If it's, I'm going to cast Haley Tricia on the show, or it's, I'm going to run a summer solstice event. Like, we're doing it for ourselves as much as we're doing it to kind of create, because creativity is also just like such a blessing.
I agree. And I feel that when I listen to your podcast, I feel that it's for you as well. And I think that's part of why I resonate with it so much, because it feels like we're just having a chat. Yeah, I'll listen to you like on my way to the gym,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really am.
Love that. Would you say so? I like to go all Oprah on people and say it's a spiritual podcast, but how are your feelings around spirituality? I resonate with that word.
I am very spiritual.
Okay.
I think I am spiritual, and I do resonate with it. I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
I went to Catholic school most of my life. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school.
Respect the Catholics.
I do too.
Love like a Catholic Christmas.
Yeah.
So we got a Catholic behind the camera.
There's lots of beautiful things about Catholicism. I think all religion is man-made. I don't identify as being Catholic to date. I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I'm very grateful to Catholicism for the morals I feel like it has, bestowed upon me, and all the other lessons I've learned.
I resonate with that. Yes.
Yeah, but now I just kind of see spirituality and religion as a man-made vehicle to enable people to be in touch with their spirituality. And so it's all man-made. But I do believe in a higher power, and I do call that higher power God. And that's where, and so I do pray and things like that. But I don't go to church.
Yeah.
But it does feel like prayer when I'm in my yoga classes.
Yeah.
And I always have like an affirmation or some sort of focus. When I first moved here from Portland, it was, I trust myself.
I love that.
Because I've always
weave that into my summer.
Yeah. Trusting yourself and your decisions. Like, sometimes it's hard just to decide. I've struggled with indecisiveness my entire life. And I think part of being like a domestic abuse survivor and all that didn't help with my indecisiveness and not trusting myself. So as part of my healing, trusting myself was my focus in class for the first like 20 yoga classes I took moving here. And I think it helped a lot.
You're really inspiring. I'm like, I should go to yoga tonight.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
inspiring me. I love that. I love that. As a
Thank you.
corporate recruiter, I always knew if I was going to hire someone, not necessarily off the experience they were saying, but if I felt like truly this is like a true business move that I do to this day.
Mm.
Sometimes the applicant has absolutely no experience, and like I've had to end up talking the hiring manager into hiring the person. But I feel like in the conversation, if I felt inspired or got a business idea that correlated to what I was recruiting for, I was like hired. So like you're hired. I don't know what for, but you just got
I
hired.
can't wait. I can start right away. Whatever you need. I'm here. I'm ready.
I also want to talk about purpose. I feel like sometimes people struggle with purpose. And I think even that's where I stumble off my mat sometimes. I lose focus of the purpose. I get so
Yeah, what are
focused
we
on
even doing?
making $1 million and so focused on boosting coffee and crystals that I go 2, 3 weeks without writing. And honestly, my purpose is a storyteller and to be a writer. But I do all these things like podcasting and events and corporate jobs and dating and all these things that are like taking me away from my purpose. So it's definitely something that I have to remind myself. So that's why I resonate with what's your purpose, Kadie? What's your purpose? Be a writer. Right. Do you resonate with that idea of having a purpose? Do you feel like you have a purpose here on earth?
I think that my purpose is to help other women feel confident about themselves.
I love that.
And that can be like multifold, right? Like it could be I make them laugh, I make them feel inspired, I remind them who the fuck they are.
You do that.
I think I do.
It's like now that I'm in front of you more and like it's all kind of making sense just how
Totally.
you are, even just with our correspondence.
Thank you so much. I'm loving learning so much about you as well. This has been magical for me.
Thank you.
Of course. And so purpose. And I think also like I'm glad you brought up the word purpose. I love alliteration. So I always think about like pain, turning it into purpose, pain to purpose. And so that's what I think as far as my purpose, I'm still kind of figuring it out, but it's definitely about healing and helping others heal. And that's through like the pain I've been through in life. I'm not just going to be like, oh my gosh, I went through this stuff. So now my life's over. No, how can I take I'm like a well of knowledge. I have so much like, I mean, I can like detect an abuser from a mile away. Like there's so many things that I know, so much insight that I have into psychology and just life. And I need to use that. And so I think my purpose is to teach others that and help them find themselves through all that. So
I think we're talking about the body keeps the score. And we
wow.
brought up trust. And that is something that I feel in my body that I also had to trust the universe, trust myself. It's still something that it's probably one of my main things that I'm working on is trust and just getting rid of fear and survival mode. Because like all my life, it's like I had to have a lot of jobs.
You're
And
in
now everyone's like,
survival
you have a
mode.
lot of jobs. I'm like, I think it's because I always had to have a lot of jobs. But I also didn't speak a lot because the class clown in me, I didn't want anyone to know how dysfunctional I was. Like, if I could just deflect, cute little blonde girl, like I hate it. I really didn't like that that an old grandmother was picking me up at school. It really embarrassed me as a little kid. So it's like, how sad, right? But it was a kid have these weird things.
No, that's okay.
But it was just, I think that class clown and being in the plays and being
Everything's
fine.
fine.
Everything's fine. I'm so funny. Like, yeah,
I'm
my great grandmother. I know it's weird, but anyway, let's talk about something else. Like now I'm an open book, like to my detriment. Like my PR manager is like, I don't know how open you are, but you know, like she's kind of cutting it off.
Sure.
So my point is I always had sharp throat. I always had upper thoracic pain. Like in my a doctor told me I was doing too many chaturangas. I'm like, no, but am I? But always like pain around my throat chakra, which when you heal your throat chakra, you're speaking your truth. You have trust in the universe. You're healing your trust issues. So the body for me was showing up that way. Do you feel like in everything you know about yourself that you could resonate in an area of your body where you feel it was keeping the score and kind of holding you back physically?
I couldn't resonate with that book and that idea more, by the way. And I'm so glad that you brought it up. I do believe that that's
I feel like
part
maybe
of
you had something with your mom.
Of course, that's how she passed away for sure. I absolutely, I mean, maybe people come out there.
Whatever you're about to say is already giving me goosebumps.
I just, my mom passed because of my dad. Like that's 100%. He killed her. That's my truth. And that's part of why through honoring her, I haven't spoken to him in so long. It's just like, nope, nope, not in my life. I'm not going to let you suck one
Which
more.
is very strong. People might say
Totally.
that's rude. Let it go, heal. Absolutely not. That's
No.
discernment.
No, it's discernment. And I don't wish him any ill will. And like I said, I pray for my half sister's spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not going to be able to have access to her if ever. I don't know. I would love to, right? But I'm not going to go through him to.
Yeah.
So yes, it is discernment. I don't sit around with this. I don't carry around anger toward him. I don't let it, ruin my life or dampen my mood. But I'm Haley Tricia. He was a dad. He failed. I I thrive. I go on. But for me, yeah, it's my stomach. I have IBS. And so that's, I think 100% something that my whole life has been an issue. Like,
Trust
if
your
I
gut.
feel it's going to my stomach, whatever that means. And that's nausea and other stomach problems. So I resonate with that so much. And so that's why I value my physical health, going to the gym, keeping yoga and whatever other workouts as a consistent part of my schedule. Because the second I stop going, that's when everything else mental health wise just kind of starts to unravel. So yeah, that keeps me centered. And that's why yoga is so helpful because it's in doing nothing sometimes. It's truly in the slowing down. And that's what helps all of the tension I feel like I hold in my body.
Well, yoga was originally like traditionally created to teach people to sit. Yoga, the seed words in it means to sit. So you sit in prayer, you sit in your practice.
With
That's why I
yourself.
even like eat, love, pray. You just see them on that cushion doing
Right.
Krishna and singing. Like yoga wasn't all this vinyasa pretty stuff that we love to do and that I taught last weekend and did these pretty flows. It really was to sit, to meditate, to be in devotion,
Mm.
to sit still. When people are like, "Oh, I can't do yoga," and I just watch them be all crazy, I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of why you need it." It's just like
You need it.
sometimes we are just going, and I do that even with my workouts. If I'm not feeling the gym, like yesterday would be a great recent example. I was just feeling so crazy and chaotic in my mind and guilty that I wasn't going. And I was like, I have no energy though. But I was like, you know what I'm going to do? It's kind of just like a yoga class. Like, I'm just going to go and I'm going to sit in the sauna, like just showing up. Maybe I walk on the treadmill. And I think that that's a lot like yoga and purpose in life. Sometimes you're not going to write the book this week, but maybe I'll edit a sentence. And it's
That's right.
showing up for ourselves that helps you trust yourself.
It doesn't always have to be this big Herculean thing.
Yeah.
Right. And I struggle with that so much. I'm like, it has to be bigger. Oh, I didn't go to the gym today, so I better not go for the rest of the week because,
Yeah.
well, of course I can. Of course I can wake up tomorrow on Tuesday and go.
It's a new day. New sun.
And that I think you may have talked about this in one of your podcast episodes recently.
Because I'm constantly retelling myself.
Because that's a great philosophy. And some of the most successful people I feel like that I admire and strive to be like, they talk about that, how you just make the next choice realign, You had let's say it's like you can use like the health, like food analogy, right? Like you had the burger and fries and the milkshake last night, but today you can wake up and have your green smoothie again and go ahead. So it doesn't ruin or whatever.
Yeah, it's unravel everything else. It's helping you trust yourself. It's helping you build that muscle.
Yeah.
It's like showing up even when you fall off. Sometimes it's even more admirable.
That's right. And that's what they tell you
It's like a hero in
like AA, for example, right? Like they have that, like they always say the day is like one day sober or whatever. And I think that's that same mentality. Like you might have fallen off, but you're going to get right back up tomorrow and start again.
Yes. We actually, in one of my trainings, I think I was back in Costa Rica. So I guess it was my last 100 hours to when I graduated with 500 hours. We talked a lot about the AA principles, not because it was an AA group.
Right.
But my teacher really thought that it would be good for anyone who hadn't seen the 12 steps to just integrate it and teach it. And the one that really resonated with me that reminds me growing up with my great grandmother was wash the dishes and clean the house. I feel like the ritualness of, I apologize to you when you came into the studio because I feel like before any guest comes here, I could lick my floors. They're so clean. But there is this element of waking up, having my morning routine, getting on my shaker, doing my skincare, which I have got to hear your routine when I've done that beautiful skin.
Thank you.
But cleaning something in the house, like if it's just sorting laundry or if it's doing the dishes. My grandmother had a dishwasher, but I felt like looking at her life now and watching how she would just wash the dishes by hand every night. I think she was so sad and depressed that I think she knew that that was just a therapeutic thing just get through
Mm,
another day, get through another night washing the dishes. And when I heard that that was part of the 12 steps, I'm like, I resonate with that so much. Like, I love to purge my clothes every month. Like, even if it's just two things, like just the act of cleaning the dishes, cleaning the house, cleaning your space does so much for your mind. So, do you have like rituals? What is your skincare routine? What are some of your daily things other than the workouts that you do to kind of center you?
that's a great question. So everything you're saying is with what you just said about cleaning the dishes. Those are all things I need to do
Great.
because so this
Maybe
is
somebody listening does too.
totally. And I will be honest. So I moved here a year ago from Portland. I set up some of my stuff and then kind of plopped everything else down, and it's just kind of been sitting there, and I've been living around it.
Mm.
So this
And
month,
that's some deep things in Chinese medicine too.
right?
Like you can learn a lot about maybe what's not happening because of just that movement alone.
Just that, just to have it all sit there. And anyway, but so I need to do that. So I'm not doing enough of that, and it's negatively impacting my life. It makes me feel more chaotic. I go to the gym, I'm like, oh, where's that sock again? Oh, there's this shoes over here. So this is conversations inspiring me as an agenda item for July because it'll be 1 year since moving here. I'm finishing my fucking apartment,
And guess what?
hanging up those.
Another aspect of cancer is we love our homes, we love our space. So as a cancer, as mama home cancer, I just got you cleaning your space.
I'm ready.
It's energetically what we should all be doing in this season.
Right, exactly. And I feel like and I'm a Sagittarius, I'm December.
Love sex.
And so like I feel like I can be kind of flighty and like scattered, and I'm always kind of trying to like leave, like, oh, I need to go to travel and I gotta go fix everything. And it's like, slow down, examine your space. I just ordered a standing desk and noticing yours over
Love that.
there.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to set that up and start to take some of my creative projects more seriously, and just some other things I'm excited to jump back into as I'm coming out of this dark season and trying to be intentional.
Being fucking joy.
Yes, being fucking joy.
Make sure you're following Haley Tricia on Instagram because now we all have to hold her accountable.
Thank you.
She's
Haley
got
Tricia.
She's got some really funny content. You're funny. Your
So-
videos and your reels, and you got good engagement.
I appreciate. I like to do a little of all of it. I'm a big foodie. I like to eat out. I want to make you laugh. I'm also going to talk about real stuff, though. Sometimes that can make people uncomfortable. But I do a big mixed bag of all of it, and I hope that people can find something with that in my truth and authenticity, because that's all it is. It's just me being me, and if someone can get a benefit from that, wonderful.
Well, we absolutely are encouraging you. We're going to hold you accountable by following you.
Thanks.
So give us a update on your skincare routine.
Yes, thank you for asking about that, because I've been getting so many compliments on my skin lately. I've been using this product called DermaQuest.
Okay.
And they're relatively new. They're just kind of coming out. I have a friend who's in their sales department, has been working for them, and she loves it. So she sent me some samples, and I'm like, it's amazing. So there's a face wash. They have multiple face washes for whatever you need. There's it just hydrates your skin. It looks really good. Everyone tells me that I have great skin. They all think I go to the med spa outside the gym. Yeah. Botox. I've never had Botox.
Neither.
So yay, DermaQuest. Little plug for DermaQuest there.
Yeah, I love it.
And I genuinely use it, and it's really freaking awesome. I've never really taken my skincare seriously before that. Genetics and all that,
Right.
I think my mom pumped in the last life of hers to me. That's what I say. She gave me an extra 10 years of perfection, or something. So, but yeah.
I love that.
And how about you? What do you
I
do?
also feel like my skincare routine is so interesting now because, again, as a writer and I'm writing a book about my life, that I feel like I've spent a lot of time studying themes in my life because I'm piecing it together.
Yeah.
So it's I have a big comment on this, but another form of free babysitting that my great grandmother had is she would put us in the bathroom and we were not allowed to get out of the bathtub until she said it was okay. And then she would become deaf. We'd be like, get out, screaming, trying to get her to hear us, but she just wouldn't answer. And she was very strict and scary. So it's you're not coming out of the bathtub until she says it's okay. So what I'm getting at is she was an Avon lady and she had all these bubble bath skincare creams. I, as a little girl for hours and for summers, just would sit in the mirror. And that's how I learned about beauty. I didn't really have a mother teaching me per se, but it's she had drawers and cabinets filled with girly things. And I would just put up the oils. And so that was my introduction to skincare. And I feel like it was my first 200 hours at yoga. I always was a little girly, but I just think the goddess in me came out practicing yoga when I really understood how I needed to balance out my feminine energy. And I started really getting into skincare and caring about my skin and
It's
wearing
lovely.
sunscreen. Like,
As you
it
should.
sounds weird, but all that was my yoga because doing a skincare or a bath or a face mask, how girly is that? That's a great way for a boss, fem boss type woman to drop in and be a little bit more feminine because we're going to get a pedicure today, which I hate pedicures, by the way, but it's a way to feel girly and to get
Yes.
into my self-care routine. And I got back to that from yoga.
I'm so glad because inward healing and self-care sometimes is really fucking girly.
Yes.
And it's not a shameful thing to want to be girly.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I feel like
also
there's a
men
sign
too.
of
Like,
anything.
again, I'm using these duality things, but like
Yes.
hardworking, very hustling, like tight men to drop in and take care of their skin
Oh,
is an easy way to soften up and just feel harmony and
that's
peace in
right.
their evening or
That's
their
right.
morning.
Right. And yeah, and it doesn't need to be gender specific either. Like just the idea of self-care, whatever brings you joy, whatever
Yeah.
makes you happy. And I love being silly and dressing up. Amazon Prime Day just happened and I
I
did
feel like I
get
missed it.
I definitely didn't. I got a lot of really fun things. And one of the things I got was a stroller for my dogs. I have 3 dogs total, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and Yves Saint Laurent. And Louis Vuitton and Yves Saint Laurent are little 10-pound baby hypoallergenics. So I'm going to put
Which
them
we
in.
have Louis here.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
around.
too cool to be in the
He's
show.
enjoying these
Sunspot
over there.
He's laying there with me. Maybe he is there with them.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's talking to them. That's lovely. Yeah. So just being yourself, doing what makes you happy. I do it. I do whatever I want. I
Yeah.
don't know if I want. And that's
Love
how
it.
I am healing my feminine bloodline.
Yes.
I go places by myself a lot.
I
Like,
really started doing that when I was traveling for business, and people
Yeah.
think it's so weird. They're like, "You went out by yourself." I'm like,
I
"Yes,
think it's so
and you
weird.
should do it too."
It's so magical.
Yeah.
It's so
I've
great.
met a lot of new friends. I mean, technically, like I
too.
wasn't by myself, but it's like you meet people. You're forced to put down your phone and talk to people around you when you are brave enough to go outside and do
And you
things alone.
inspire others
Yes.
to do the same
Yes.
and to challenge the fact that it's actually not weird. It's actually super normal.
Yeah.
Why do we always have to be with someone?
I was dating a guy recently, and when I told him that like the last person I met at a bar. I used to go out all the time because I would travel alone. And he's like, "Really? You don't think that's desperate?" And I was like, "You're dead to me."
So
Just from that comment, I was like,
narcissist
"You're
reader.
dead to me."
He's definitely one. I
Yes.
know that feels like it's he only knows one thing, but no. Like he's definitely on
That's
the
how I felt.
spectrum.
Just that
100%.
comment. He's like, "You don't think that comes off a little desperate?" And I was like,
Wait, like
you're
people are
dead
gonna
to me.
think
Go
you're
ahead and pay that too.
prostitute at the
and you're not.
bar. Average dinner.
Yeah,
See you later.
exactly.
Yeah, no. Insecure with your masculinity, insecure with manhood. That's absolutely not. No,
Not about it.
anyone should be able to go anywhere by themselves, whenever they would like to. There's nothing shameful or wrong or sad or desperate about it.
Exactly. For him to like think that about a woman now, if he saw a woman alone at the bar and him in his head is thinking she's desperate. Okay, I see you so clearly.
Right. When in fact, most of the time, it is exactly
Confident.
the opposite.
It like sure
Look at those desperation. It's like
doesn't need somebody to make plans with, can take care of herself. That's how I see that girl.
Right. And by the way, I think deep down, that's probably also how he sees it. And so that makes him feel threatened. And that's why he had to say that. You make you smaller so that he can feel bigger. So I'm glad you don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not, girl.
Bye.
All right. Well, what's next for you? So beaming fucking joy. What's
Yeah.
new in the biz? How can we support you?
Oh, well, thank you so much. I think right now the best way to support you is just to follow me on Instagram at Beaming Fucking Joy. I'm also at Haley Tricia on Instagram, Haley Tricia, and that's Tricia. And anyway, yeah, so I'm just making content on Instagram right now, but I think pretty soon I want to create
Which will bring
I wanna have
joy.
a website. I think it will bring joy, and I think it has begun to already. And I had that fear of posting for a really long time because I
We
was
all
sitting on the
do.
handle for so long, and now I'm just I just post random stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep posting random stuff and see what works. And it's all going to be touching on the themes of everything I just said, the healing, self-love, humor to cope with hard things, being fucking joy. And yeah, I eat out a lot. I've been doing kind of restaurant reviews and stuff.
that.
Come spend a day in the life with me. We go to nice places. I find the best of everything, I think. And I just want people to come with me on that journey.
I love that. Cool. Well, I definitely followed. I'm sass. I always ask anyone if there's anything that we didn't go over that you want to share with the listeners, or maybe some question you had for me.
I think we kind of touched on everything that I can think of.
Well, I have
I
to
just
get
got
for
my
you.
dogs in there. Oh, yay, okay.
This is from one of our partners from our summer celebration,
Well,
Beyond
isn't
Yoga.
this
So I wanted to give you this
beautiful?
it's a pickleball bag.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
so
I don't
happy.
play pickleball, but it's such a good deep bag.
Oh, yeah.
We've
Gym
got
bag. Hello.
Catalina Dental because I'm obsessed with mouth health. I think we kind of
Oh,
talked a little bit about my truth, just keeping my
yes.
mouth clean, keeping my truth clean. So a little travel toothbrush. We talked about mouth cleanliness.
Oh, there's a nice little yoga, little,
Beyond Yoga is known for the most buttery, soft fabric out there.
I
When
love
I
it.
had skin cancer the summer of 2023, I have all these
Oh,
really cool, deep scars on my skin. And I was like a rag doll because I had lost my job. So I lost my health insurance. So they had to do surgery that was going to be spread out in 6 months in 30 before I lost my health insurance.
mm.
So I was like a rag doll. And all I wore was Beyond Yoga because literally
I love
that's
it's
how
so soft. Oh, yeah. No.
best yoga brand ever. So we got to get you fitted up.
Oh,
Too.
yeah.
I'll take you
I
to one
need
of the
some more
stores.
things, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
'Cause
the closest to you is maybe Irvine.
lovely.
Otherwise,
I'll meet you
Larchmont.
there.
LA. Yeah, we
I
got
have a little, yeah, I'll get a little discount or something. I don't know. As an
absolutely,
instructor. I don't know.
absolutely. They do love to take care of the fitness community, and you've got all the credentials, so they'll take care of you.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Well, Haley, it was such a pleasure to have you and Louie on the show
Oh, thank you.
today.
I know he's been kind
He's
of camera shy, but thank you so much, Katie. This has been amazing. And I can't wait to talk to you again, like really soon.
All right. Well, stay hydrated, everyone. Make sure that you are following the show. If you feel like today's show would benefit somebody in your circle, please share it to them. Comment on the show. It's a free way to support me. It's a free way for Coffee and Crystals Media to grow. And that's a wrap.